On West Street in Chenlu Town, there's a museum that only collects firsts. That wobbly first step when learning to stand. The sound bubbles floating out when first saying mama. The butterfly knot tied when first learning to lace shoes. These precious firsts are frozen in amber light, stored in imaging slots, watched over by a lady whose lashes always shimmer with morning frost. But this year during the rainy season, the museum's climate control broke down. When the keeper opened the storage room, she found many firsts starting to fade. That first, courage to sleep alone, became thin as fog. The first forgiveness of a friend started curling at the edges. Even worse, the people tied to these firsts began having problems too. Sleepless nights multiplied, old grudges resurfaced. 12-year-old Chu often came to help organize the museum. She was born able to sense the texture of first, hearing the heartbeat from that moment with just a touch. She discovered the fading firsts weren't eroded by time, but because their owners hadn't had a second time in so long. Never trying again after that first break, becoming harsh after that first act, closing off your heart after loving for the first time. Firsts withered, like calls that got no answer. Chu made a bold choice. She borrowed out a few firsts that were about to vanish. She quietly slipped the first loyalty of keeping a friend seat into the backpack of a classmate who always spilled secrets. She left the first sweetness of sharing candy on the bedside of fighting sisters. The next day, something wonderful happened. That classmate suddenly stayed quiet at the critical moment. Laughter returned to the sisters' conversations. And the borrowed firsts didn't disappear. They actually became brighter and stronger. Turns out firsts need to be relived to keep existing. Now the museum changed its rules. Every first can be borrowed. But whoever borrows one must promise to create a new second time within a month. The whole town of Chenlu became gentler because of it. Grown-ups relearned the fearlessness of first riding a bike. Kids were encouraged to try tiny new things every day. The keeper's frosty lashes finally melted, because her job changed from preserving to nurturing, and Chu became the very first-time guide. Her pockets always held a few of the smallest, brightest firsts. When she met someone stuck in the same old routine, she gently placed one in their palm. Recently, the museum added a new wing. The miracle of second time. It holds even more beautiful things that grew from firsts. Like from the first time getting up after falling, grew the smile after the 100th failure. And from the first I'm sorry bloomed the power to forgive an entire sky of stars. Every resident of Chenlu knows the most precious first is always the next one about to happen.